All right, let me get everything set up here. Hey, Ken. All right, I don't know how my signal's going to do tonight. It just started pouring down rain outside. Let's just see how it goes. If it gets a little too bad, we may have to just drop off. Looking a little blurry right now. Let me restart it right here. See if that helps on my end. Can you hear me, Ken? Yeah, there we are. Low limit fun. Clear on my end. All right, thanks for letting me know. Looking good on your end. Okay, like I said, I use Starlink for my internet here at home, and most of the time it's fine, other than when it gets really, really, really rainy, really cloudy. But it does good for the most part. It's pretty fast. I'm not sure what you guys are using, but that's what I use here at home. Not advertising for Starlink or anything, but that's just what I use. All right, y'all got any strategy you want me to run out tonight before we get started? Anything you want me to try out? Just put it here in the chat for me, and we'll try to set it up and see how it goes. See if we can get a few people on here. I got 4 people on here right now, but let's see. So let me go ahead and get it started. So welcome to 35 to 1 Roulette Cruisin. This is Sunday Night Spins, where we spin out some strategies and try out some things. Our bankroll is normally $1,000 to start the night. We try to go for close to an hour. Sometimes we go over an hour, but we'll give it a try, see how it goes. So Ken says, could you play most popular cruise go-to? Okay, so of course the most popular right now for me, and is going to be the point pusher. That's what I would probably pursue if I was going on a cruise. And I've got a cruise in a couple of weeks, I think on the 23rd. Let's see. So low limit fun. I've tested a 9 Street on my upcoming cruise. Okay, you're testing that one, and I've heard good things out of the 9 Street. There's a guy named David that was on the last cruise we were on. He was playing a 9 Street strategy, and it seemed to do fairly well. I've got one that I kind of been working on a little bit, but I play 10 streets. So why don't we do that one real quick? So let's just say we buy in for $200 and just give that one a go real quick. Let me just show you kind of what I was doing with it. So we're going to play with $2 chips. If everybody's used to playing on the cruise, the minimum is $10. And which means you got $2 chips. So anyway, so you give them your cash, give them a CPAS card, they give it back to you. Okay. So, but low limit, you're going to be testing 9 Street. So here's one. Let me get this out of the way right here. But this was one I did on the last cruise, and it kind of helped recoup some of my losses. All right. So I start with 10 streets, and then let's see, Ryan's on here. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, buddy? Glad you got to join us again. You're the regular, I think. I need to start keeping like an attendance record for everybody. That's what I should start doing, is an attendance record. And then at the end of the month or whatever, we just see, who's made the most appearances on either chats or, comments of some kind or something. The best input, I guess. All right, so 5. Okay, so this would pay out 11 to 1, right? Okay, so there's that. And so that's 9, there's 10, 11. Okay, so now what I do is I take it and I drop it down to the 8 streets. Okay, and then I have 4 chips left over. So with those 4 chips, now I've got to pick 4 streets. Let's skip right here and right here. Okay, now I'm hoping I can double up on that. So it's kind of a 2-step. It's a 2-step deal here. We start with 10 streets, then I drop it down to 8. And if we can land on one of these, that's a 22 chip, and it actually turns into 24 chips with your 10 originals, so that's a 14 chip profit in one cycle. Does that make sense? All right, so 20. So there's one on there, so it's push. So we're going to leave everything set the way it is. Let's see what's Ryan got going. Ryan says, I'm closing tonight at work. Just popped in to say what's up. I'll have to watch home. Okay. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you getting on here and just saying, hey, man. You're a good contributor to the channel, and appreciate you dropping in and saying, hey, man. And, yeah, close out the night at work. Be safe. All right, so 31. Okay, so that was a loss. And, you know, this is, of course, no guaranteed strategy. No strategy is, of course. But I just call this one, 10 streets. So let's see. So low limit. So your 9 streets. Do you have a particular streets that you play that you just kind of just repeat those 9 streets the entire time, or do you press? What do you do with it? Okay, 2. Obviously, this ain't working very well. All right, so we're going 10 more. Hey, Andrew, how you doing? Glad you got to join us tonight. You on a cruise, or you home loafing? All right, so we know that's a 2 chip profit there, so we're going to get chips. All right, now we're going to go up on, let's see, on 4 streets here. Let's see if we can get a double up on it. All right, so low limit says, I take the streets out for the last 3 numbers that hit, okay? Usually try for 3-4 wins before resetting on the new numbers, okay? Man, what in the world? This one right here is just not working tonight. Well, you have to change it up. Yeah, it's amazing that you can have this much coverage and it just keeps hitting those numbers that are right outside that you need to hit. Yeah, I think in order to play it that way, I'd have to have some kind of way, I'd have to note everything to know where my wins are. Okay, so there's that 2 chip profit right there. We take these 2 down. All right. And we're just running this one here just to try something. So your average on this one, you're starting with 10 chips, so you'd be $20. And then you drop it down a little bit. You're at 14 chips, I think, or 12 chips. So it ain't that much of an improvement. 34. You see what it keeps doing? It's like the wheel just knows where you don't have it covered. Let's see. Low limit says double on a loss and try to get 2 wins, then reset. Oh, I gotta put chips out. You don't win if you don't play. It's like I can't get that second win to happen. Okay, so there we go. Let's see, so I take streets out, the last 3 numbers that hit. Okay, 29. There we go. We finally got a hit on that. All right, so that should be 22 chips. All right, there's 22. All right, let's keep our 8 streets going. See if we can get another double up, but we're going to swap our streets. Okay, and we're going to bring these back to our rack. That's a 12 chip profit right there. Crap Master Journey is on here. Hey, how you doing? And 27. There we go. It worked out. Okay. So now this is 22 chips. Profit right there. All All right, now we're going to reset back to our original 10 streets. All right, bring all that back to our rack. And those of you that joined in late, we bought in for $200, and we're playing with $2 chips. And this is kind of a two-step system here. So you start with 10 streets, and after the win, then you reduce to 8 streets. Okay, so 32, and every time it's a 2-chip profit if it lands in here. So there's our 2 chips profit. I pull the outside 2, and then I'm going to go right there, just double up on 4 of those streets. And then we're hoping one of the ones with the 2 chips on it for the cycle, it's a good win. All right, 8, there we go. We got a good win off of that. All right, so that's the 22 chips. All right, so there it is. There's 22. And let's see if we can get an extra one out of it. So just going to go 8 chips and 8 streets again. And we are going to change the ones that have 2 chips on, and we're going to bring these back to our rack. That's 12 chips back to our rack. Let's see what we got. Low Limit Fun says, I was messing. Oh yeah. 30-Day Gambler says, happy Sunday. And hey, did you make sure that you told your moms happy Mother's Day, or your wives? Today was a big day for them. All right, 12. That worked out right there. All right, we're doing really good right now with this. All right, there's 22 chips right there. And we're going to reset back to 10 streets. Okay, there we go. We're in profit now. All right, so Low Limit Fun says, I was messing with another that places $1 on every number except the last 6 that hit. If you win, you remove that number. Lose, you double. Okay. So you're going to have 30 numbers covered. So at $1 chip, so that's $30 per spin. Not bad. All right, 19. All right, so that's going to be a 2-chip profit there. We take these, and here and here. Yeah, I'd have to keep up with my numbers to do that one, Low Limit. All right, 24. All right, we're on a roll now. It's working out. All right, so that should be 22 right there. And being we're in profit, we're just going to go back to 10 streets. All right, what are y'all thinking so far? Pretty tough to run with a live dealer. Oh, that one there. Okay, yeah, the 30 numbers. Yeah, I mean, if you played the same 30 numbers every single time, it would be easy just to set them all out. But if it's changing, yeah, you'd have a lot to keep up with. Putting them out there, taking off the ones. You'd almost be better just to put all 36 and then pull the 6 off after you set them all out. All right, 4. That is a 2-chip profit. We pull these 2, and we're going here, here, and here. All right, what do y'all think of this strategy? I'm going to call it 10 streets. 10 streets down to 8, so what would be a name for it? All right, 6. All right, we lost right there. Okay. It's not a very high average. So that's 10 streets. What do you call it, like 10 by 8? Or something like that. What do y'all think? And 1. Then we get on a run where we're going to lose every time. All right, let's do something different. Let's double them up now. Now we're going from $20 out there to $40 out there. All right, 6. Okay, so that should be 22 chip profit right there, or 22 chip win. Okay, there's 22. So now we're going to drop back down through the 8 streets. Oh, 8, right? So we're going to go here, 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 and here. I think that worked pretty good to double up on it. All right, 21. Okay, so that's a push right there. All right, this is spin 20. See if we can survive. And of course, 3. All right, so that was 20 spins. And I don't really have a name for it. I'm just playing 10 streets and then dropping it down to 8. You know, just kind of a two-step system there. So we finished that with, we're only down, I think we're only down $4. All right, so where's my clipboard for the night? So I can keep up. I can drop everything behind me, of course. All right. Jeez. Getting too big for this. All right. I got too much to write on here. All right, so that was our first session. We bought in for 200. And we're out for 196. And we probably made, we're probably not going to get a bunch of points for that. So I'm going to say probably 40 to 50 points. So let's just go low. We're going to say 40 points. Okay. Sound about accurate. Ryan's not on here. Haven't gotten to see too much of this one. Yeah, that one, I mean, that one's okay. I ran it on the last cruise and it seemed to do okay, you know, dropping it down like that. All right, so what y'all want me to do? Sounds about right. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so that's one I would definitely play on the cruise. It's not going to give you a lot of points, but if you have a low bankroll, it'll kind of let you just stay at the table for a little while, and as you can see, it recovers well. You know, it kind of, you know, lasts for a little while. So anyway, so here we go. So 100, I think it was like 196. So let's say 175 and all right, let's just say 190. All right, say we tipped during that session. All right, so what y'all want to see now? Got anything in mind? You want me to run Point Pusher? Or do you want me to run something different? Now, I did, at the end of the session last week, I started running this thing I was calling Neighbors. And I've kind of worked on it a little bit over the past couple of days, just testing it out and seeing how it goes. So do any of you play Neighbors? Do you like a certain area on the wheel that like the covers like 17, 20, 32, 5, There are people that like those numbers, and there's a reason they like those numbers, because they're all kind of together. And I guess you would say in a neighborhood. So do any of you play a neighborhood like that? All right, so we're going to buy in. What are we going to play with? Let's play with $5 chips. So we're going to buy in for $500. Okay. So here's $500. We're going to play with $5 chips. Okay, and then what we have to do is we have to establish a number. Okay, so once a number is established, then we're going to go by the layout of the wheel, and I'm going to pick the number that hits plus 3 numbers on each side, so it's going to be a total of 7 numbers. Okay, so 29 hit. All right, so 29, I look at the wheel here. All right, I have 29 right there. So we've got 29, and then 12, 8, and 19. That's 3 on one side. And then 27, 10, 25. Okay, so there's 7 numbers right there. Now, experiment is those 7 numbers will cycle back around about every 4 spins, average. Okay, so we're going to see if we can get that neighborhood to hit within the next 4 spins. Okay, so 32, so that's a loss. All right, I'm not going to rake the board. Let me get these orange chips out of the way here. Okay. All right, so there's that 7 there. All right, here we go. I'm going to go again. This is spin 2. And I could increase this to 9 numbers, just kind of have better coverage. Maybe we'll run it 10 spins this way, or maybe we can get a win and we might increase it to 9. Okay, 00. Okay, that's another 7 chip loss. Okay, there's 7 right there. All right, let's see. So Randall says also you should bet 30, 36, 28, 11, 9, and 7. So let's see, 30, 11, 9, 7, 20. Yep, that's another block. So that's the other side, isn't it, Randall? So you're saying opposites. So maybe bet 7 on one side and bet 7 on the other side. Is that kind of what you're thinking? All right, so 31. All right, that's another loss. Okay, and then kind of the thing I kind of started doing was if I lost 3 times, I would reset to the newest number. Okay, so I just had those 3 losses there, so now we're going to reset to 31. And this is just something I'm trying out. Where's 31 on here? Am I blind? Anybody else like that? Get to looking for something and you can't even see it. All right, so there's 30. We just missed it, didn't we? So 31, 18, 6, 21, and then 12, 8, and 19. Okay, so there's another 7 right there. Yeah, they are all 19 numbers apart. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's an idea that you could put 7 on one side of the wheel and 7 on the other, so you got 2 blocks on each side. You're kind of fighting each other, seeing which one shows up. All right, so that's a loss there, and this is probably going to be a big mistake. All right, so there's 7 chips right there. Let's see, Scout's House Roulette. Try this for size, $36 on 19 to 36, 15 $2 straight up singles of your choice between 1 to 18, and keep alternating those 15 numbers on each spin if successful. Okay, we might try that next. All right, 9. All right, so this is not working out very well. All right, spin number 3 on this number here. Not working out too well. I think I need to go to 9 numbers. I think you have a better chance, at least adding 2 more numbers to it. All right, is that 6? All right, there we go. We finally got a hit. Okay, but that's not going to fully recover because that's 35 to 1. Okay. 34, 35. Okay, so there's 35. All right, we're going to bring it all back. We're going to get us another number. All right, but it took 3 hits to get that one. So that's kind of where, I'm not going to say my average has been, but it's kind of where it's at. All right, so 00 is our number. All right, so on 00, we got 00. We're going to go 9 numbers this time. Okay. Let's see, 9. There's 1, 13, 36, and 24. Yep, and then 27, 10, 25, and 29. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right, so there's our 9 numbers. This is 00 is what it landed on, and we have 4 numbers on one side and 4 numbers on the other of that neighborhood. All right, 3. All right, that's a loss. Okay, so there's 9. All right, so I'm probably going to have to try out the one Scout's house is pointing out here for us to give a try. All right, there we go, 27. All right. All right, so that pays 35. All right, bring it all back to the rack. All right, what do y'all think of this idea? I know we went 3 spins, we lost. We went 3 spins, we won. We went 2 spins and just won again. All right, let's go one more try. Let's reestablish the number here. That's going to be the center of our neighborhood. All right, 33. Okay, so 33 is going to be our number. All right, so there we go. We got 9 chips, so 33 is going to be the center of our neighborhood. And 21, 6, 18, and 31. And now we're going to go 16, 4, 23, and 35. All right, so there we go. Reestablished a neighborhood. Spin number 1. All right, 27. Should have stuck with the other neighborhood. Would have won right there. All right, so we know that's a 9-chip loss. Okay. All right, spin 2. All right, guys, if y'all don't mind, hit that like button for me. And oh, there you are. You're already hitting it. I appreciate that. Thank y'all. All right, 9. Okay, that's another 9 chip loss. All right, this is spin number 3 of this cycle. $15. Okay, so that is another 9 chip loss. So we said after 3 losses, we're going to reset to the new number here. And then 4 right there. All right, so now we're going to say 15 is the center of our neighborhood now. So 15, 3, 24, 36, 13. All right, and 34, 22, 5, and 17. All right, so we know that was a loss. This one was a loss. So here we're starting a new one there. Spin number 1, Scout's House. Says this should give you good coverage and returns $3 if successful. $6 because it's a $2 chip. Okay. All right, so 5. All right, there we go. It worked out because we needed to shift over to the new neighborhood. Okay, so that should be 10 right there. So there's 20, 30, and 35. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, so let's just call that one quits. So just kind of showing you guys kind of something you might could try if you wanted to give it a go on a neighborhood bet. I've seen a few people play neighborhoods, but they normally have like certain numbers that they like to play, you know, little groups of, you know, either anything around the zeros. They'll pick, you know, the few numbers around the zeros. They'll pick some stuff around the 17s and 20s and stuff like that. So that's kind of why some people pick the certain numbers they do. They're looking for that neighborhood to hit. And this was just kind of an idea, just kind of, why don't we just take one that's already hit and hopefully it circles back around and hits it again. Okay. All right, Aaron, am I late? Just got here. Yeah, you just about 30 minutes late, Aaron, but hey, man, glad you joined us. We just got through running one, we call it 10 streets down to 8 streets, and the neighborhoods strategy I'm testing out. Let's see, Scout's House wants us to try one. So let's see. So let's go ahead and cash out. So we said bought in for 500. So there's $560. So here we go. 3, 4, 5, and $60. Okay. All right. So we'll bring that back to our rack or back to our wallets, I guess. All right. So Scout's House has an idea. Let's see, and it is $36 here, there. So let's see, let's buy in. Let's just buy in for $200. Can we do it for $200? Scout, what you think? And what is that? I think that goes over here. You think we can do it for $200, Scouts? So let's see. I just subscribed to you last week after I saw your point pusher video was recommended. Oh, Reddit's already recommended people over to me. That's pretty cool. That's probably why I got a boost. I got a boost in subscribers last week. I mean, just like out of nowhere, there's like 15 to 20 subscribers out of nowhere. All right, so Scouts, we're going to buy in for $200. All right, and we're going to use $2 chips. And let's see. Scout's House, Andrew D. Yes, it's necessary to leave a full street open. You can 3 numbers. Okay. All right. So let's see if I can figure out what Scouts was wanting me to do here. So he says, here's the strategy. So we're putting $36 on 19 to 36, and then he's got 15 $2 chips So take 5 off right there. So now we're going to go 15 chips on 15 numbers in the 1 to 18, but alternating those 15 numbers on each spin if successful. Okay, so let's see. So what was our last number that hit? It was 5. So this is kind of, well, let's get 17. Let's make sure we have that one. All right, that look right, Scouts? Something like that. All right, so we have, there's 18 chips, so that's $36. And then you have $30. So you're at $66 average. So a $66 average per spin. All right, let's give it a go. How many spins you want us to go? You want us to go try 10 spins and just to test it out for you? All right, so 10, I think we're just gonna do 10 spins on it. Let's just see what happens here. We're gonna marker there. Okay, 8. All right, so what's our profit there, Scouts? Is it 3 chips? Because we have 3 spots open, to be honest. So it's probably only a 3 chip profit. All right, so that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Yep, that's it. So there's a 3 chip profit. Okay, since 8 hit, we're gonna open that one up. That seem about accurate. So 20. What's the 20? Because these are $2 chips here. I think it's only a 3 chip. All right, so it's a 3 chip profit, so that's $6 profit right there. I think that's what you said earlier. All right, we're on spin 2. And we started with $200. We're going to try 10 spins. Yep, yeah, 20 spins, $6 profit. Okay. All right, and 4. All right, there it is. So there is 3 chip profit right there. I'm gonna bring that back to our rack right here. We're just gonna keep our profits right here. And let's see. Let's take this one. Let's move it down here. That 4 was sitting right beside the 16, so we're gonna move it right there beside it to the neighbor there. Oh, okay. All right, so 21. So again, that is in this 19 to 36. Same thing, so 3 chip profit. Okay. All right, and I'm not going to move anything right here because it didn't hit up in this section here, so we're going to leave everything where it's at. All right, 26. There we go. That's a 3 chip profit right there. All right, have you played this? Have you played this in a casino, Scouts? Have you played it on the ship or any other land-based casino? I'm just curious as if they give you full credit for comp on this one. Okay, 15. All right, there is 3 chips profit. All right, and let's see, let's move this one to 18. Because you've got 5 numbers exposed. And it's a toss-up. I mean, you could move this one up here if you wanted. You could shift them up there. I mean, it doesn't matter. 22, that's a 3 chip profit again. All right, so yes, hit and run, okay. And you might could reduce this down some, or at least play with bigger chips so you don't have to play with such high stacks. You could do something to where it splits instead. So 15, oh, of course. All right. It got us. Womp, womp. All right, so there's 18. So we only lost half. It's not too bad. We had kind of gathered up a few there. So let's and what is that? 12, 13, 14. So there's 15. Let's move this one right here. All right, so the only negative is the recovery. It takes so long. So would you pull? I'm wondering about pulling all of them off of the street, off the street that hits maybe. So there's 3 chip profit right there. I guess if you just kept shifting that around, maybe you'd get lucky and leaving the same numbers exposed for too long. I think we all get in trouble when we do that, I think. Because it's coming around eventually, right? That's another 3 chip profit right there. Okay, this is spin number 10. All right, Scouse says, I try and not have 2 numbers uncovered on any one street. Okay, so like this, you wouldn't have these 2 and these 2. Okay, I see what you're saying. If it just one on a street. Okay, so 22. All right, there's another 3 chip profit right there. And that's 10 spins. It's not bad, Scouse. To be honest, we did lose a little bit right there, but hey, you know, if you're having to rebet every single time, you're not as likely to leave the same numbers exposed every single time. Let's see. So there's 160. There's 70, 80. All right, 88. All right, so 188. So we only lost 12 bucks. Okay, $12 loss, 10 spins. I think I forgot to keep up with my points a while ago. What was the other one? We went about 10 spins on the last session. We bought in for 500, right? Anybody remember what the last session was? We was out for 580. I think 580. And we might have gotten 35, 40, let's say that's another 40 points. All right, in this session here, we bought in for 200. We're leaving with 188. But the average was good. So we were at $66 per spin. So we're going to say we got 70 points for that session. What do y'all think? 70 points sound about right? Okay, so we've got 100 and there's 75, 180 right there. All right, let's see, low limit. Low limit says, I sell 520 and would test table ratings with 10 spins each on day 1. What have you found is the best way to check your ratings or points after a session? Okay, so when you go in, know what strategy you're going to play, know what your bankroll, your average should be. So if your strategy is $20, you know, pick something that's simple, pick something that's low. I would say something low average. So if it goes south, you ain't really out a lot to try to go 10 spins. Okay, so pick a strategy like the point pusher. Do it with the $2 chips. With the $2 chips, you could get, I think it's like $36 a spin to cover it. Run that 10 spins. Verify with the pit boss while you're playing. Hey, where do you have my average? And then hopefully they have you $35, $40 at that point. Then you have to keep up with your spins, of course. After 10 spins, cash out, wait about 10, 15 minutes, and go over to the slot machine. And the slot machine, you'll swap your card at the slot machine. And as soon as you either slide it in or you tap it, one of the two will happen. And it'll come up and it'll give your name and it'll tell you how many points you've received. So every time before I play a session, I go to the slot machine. I check to see where my points are before I start the session. I go play a session, cash out, 15 minutes or so, check it again, and then I see where my points are. And I know how long I probably played, kind of keep up with your time. I know how many spins I played, and I know what my average was. So then you can kind of use that as the determining factor of which table is rating you the best. Hope that helps, Low Limit. And anybody else wondering, that's kind of how I'm going to start doing that. All right, and Aaron says, before and after each session, I mark the time in and out. Okay, that's right. Points in, points out, and cash in and cash out. So yeah, you got to keep up with this. If you're doing this to try to earn points for the cruise, you got to keep up with this stuff. If you just go in there and you're just playing just to play, and you don't keep up with it, then before the night's over or before the cruise is over, you're like, man, I'm short on points. You know, or you get to that point to where it's like an instant certificate's like 2,000 points and you're setting it like 1,700 points. It's like, then you're like pushing to get that extra 300 points, right? If you kept up with it along the way, there might have been some times that you might have needed to talk to the pit boss to kind of check your rating and to make sure you were getting rated properly, okay? Because if not, because what happens, one thing that happens is if you cash in, if you buy in and you get, there's a difference between the red chips and the colored chips, okay? They think these are $2, but these could also be $5 chips. So if they come up and they count your colored chips as $2 chips, well, you're short on your average. So make sure they know you're playing with $5 chips. They'll know it if you're playing with the actual cash chips. So just make sure you keep up with the pit boss. Don't wear them out, you know, but at least they'll begin to understand that you're there to get the points and start rating you properly, okay? So after a few sessions of talking with them, they know what you're there for. All right, anybody got any other questions? And Aaron says, you do have to make sure that they log you out of the table before you check your points. Right, and I have had it to where I went to the slot machine, scanned my card, and my points wouldn't show up, and never, and it took like 45 minutes. And finally I went and asked, and they hadn't closed me out on the table yet. And so what Aaron's pointing out is something that happens probably more often than you would expect, okay? Because pit bosses get busy, and they have to actually go, I think they have to go in and close you out. So let's see here. I'm testing all based on your last sale. Okay, yeah, the last one, the Voyager cruise, that was really rough. One table gave us no points, and it wasn't just me. It was several people that had realized the exact same thing. So anyway, let's see what y'all want to try now. We've been on here 50 minutes, and let's see. Let's see if we can do some, y'all want to try some yin and yang? Or do y'all want to do point pusher? I think I'd rather do, let's do some yin and yang. I like playing the yin and yang strategy. So let's say we go, I'm going to buy in for $200 for this session. All right, so $200, remember, $200 CPass. They'll scan it, they give it back to you. All right, just want to make sure you guys know to do that every single time. So here's $200. And let's see if we can get some profit out of this tonight. Let's see, Aaron says, I tried doing 5 double streets in one column. 5 double streets in one column, okay? All right, 23. All right, so we know that's on the left side of the wheel. Let's see, so 21 was on the left side of the wheel. Let's go right side. All right, here we go, right side. If somebody new is on here and hadn't played the yin and yang strategy, I picked 14 numbers on either the right side or the left side of the wheel. The pattern you see right now is the right side of the wheel. Okay, 5. All right, bingo. Okay, so that's going to be, so that's 20. There's 30. Okay, so there's 35. All right. So normally, I don't know why I didn't do that. Duh. All right. So that should be right there. Normally I ask the dealer, let me have 2 greens and 10 color. Okay, because that's a $2 chip, so that's going to pay $70. So here's 10, which is $20, and I have 2 greens. I'm going to pocket the greens. Okay, now I'm going to clear it. And let's see, so we just hit the right side. Are we going to go right again? Yeah, let's go right again. Okay. All right, so there we go. We got 14 numbers on the right side. I know there's a couple of people that kind of like to do this. I like to do it just to walk up and just have a little bit of fun. Just kind of, you know, see if I can pick the right or the left side. This just makes it interesting, that's all. Okay, 34. Okay, so it hit the right side of the wheel, but it landed between 15 and 24, which was a loss. Okay, all right, so here we go. I think it's going to switch sides. So we're going to go left side here. And this strategy here is really not made to get a lot of points off of it, because you've got 14 chips out there. It's $28 average, so you're not going to receive a lot of points for it. And 34 again. This is honestly, it's one of those just walk up to kind of start the night if you want to play around a little bit, just to practice putting chips out and see how the table's going. Hoping you can get on a good roll and get some wins out of it. And 17. And right now, it's not going very well. All right, we're going to stick with the left side. Only takes a couple of wins and you're kind of back in it. Let's see, low limit says, I didn't know it well enough to place the bets. Oh, okay, placing these bets fast enough for the dealer. So only played it a little. Okay. All right, 9. And, you know, it's a tough one. And it's like sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. I mean, you know, essentially you're just playing one side or the other. And obviously it's not working out right now. And if this one wins, I might show y'all something else here. So if this one wins, I'm going to collect a few chips, and then I'm going to double them up. If I can get, Lord have mercy. Well, this is currently it's going terrible. It almost makes me want to swap sides. All right, who else has a cruise lined up? Okay, 35. Lord have mercy. It keeps hitting right between 14 and 23. All right, what have I got left here? All right, we're gonna go right side. There's our last 13 chips here. Let's see if we can get it to go here. Never go on one again. Let's see, Randall, why not play both sides? Let's see, I sell on Adventure on Friday. Oh, okay. I haven't been on Adventure yet. And there we go. All right, so that was a waste. All right, so we're cashing out on that. You know, $50. So we bought in for 200. We're cashing out with 50. So that went 8 spins. All right, so it didn't go very well. All right, but that's how it goes. And I'm just going to take those $50 back to our wallet there. And yeah, Aaron, I haven't had a chance to get on Adventure yet. We had some friends going to Adventure. They said they liked it. I've got Freedom in a few weeks, and I got Utopia. Let's see. So the 23rd of May is Freedom. 23rd of June is Utopia. Let's see. Liberty 5/20. Then Carnival the end of June is low limit. So low limit says going to see how roulette goes on Carnival. Yeah, let us know. Let us know how your rating goes on that. Just curious as to how Carnival does their stuff. All right, let's see here. I think that's probably about all we're going to do tonight. Let's see. So what was that? So we bought in for $200. We were out for $50. And I'm going to say we probably only got 30 points. Okay, so we're at, there's 100 and 180 points. So it's only 180 points for the 4 sessions we played tonight. Let's see, Icon. Okay, you're going on Icon, and Aaron? I just booked a comp on Utopia. Okay, Icon. Okay, so you're going on Icon, Aaron. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8. All right, 875, 880. All right, so we're out for the night for $880. 180 points. So that's a loss of $120 for the night. And the 4 sessions we played. All right, how was that? Ryan's not on here to give us our average. What are points per, let's see. We're just over 50 cents, I think, per point tonight. Not too bad. Last week, I think we were like 36 cents is what our points were to loss, which is pretty good. All right, anybody got any questions before we get off of here tonight? And I'm going to try to be on here again next Sunday. So I don't have a cruise until the following weekend, so I think I'm going to try to do it again next Sunday. So make sure to try to tune in. And remember, if y'all have a strategy you want me to try out, make sure to send it to me at roulettecruisin@gmail.com. Okay, just email it to me. I'm looking for a $300 to $400 buy-in. It's got to be either a comp strategy or maybe something that could be a step profit strategy of some sort at that bankroll. And anyway, appreciate you guys joining me tonight. And let's see, finishing up here. Lee says, thanks for having us. Okay, thanks, Lee, for joining us tonight. Low limit. Glad you got to join us tonight. Aaron, glad you got to join us. And again, make sure to set your calendars for next Sunday. And if you don't mind, like and subscribe to 35 to 1 Roulette Cruisin'. And until next time, happy cruising. We'll see you.